Sharp Kim here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, off of Love Can't Wait, which you can find on Amazon.com. And in this video, I'm going to play a video that's going to talk about why black men desire white women. And it's a video of a couple of black males on the old network, on Oprah's network, talking about their experiences with black women and why they desire to date white women. And these guys, they have some serious issues. And I'm going to play the video and I'm going to pause in between and tell you what I think. And tell you what I think the issues that they have. And before I get into that, I'm going to say that, I always found it to be a little weird when I hear people say stuff like, I want to only date white women. I want to only date white men. I only want to date white guys. When I hear people make statements like that, I kind of always thought it was kind of weird, because why would you want to only date one group of people? For whatever reason. I mean, I just thought that on some level, I'm talking at a young age, when I was in my when I was a teenager or in my early 20s, when I heard people talk like that, I always thought something was wrong with people that think like this. What? I just think, and then they'll put down other people to justify why they should date outside. That's some lack of confidence and self-hate and something else going on there. So, I never dated any other women for any other reason except for curiosity. I never really had any bad experience with a black woman to make me want to date another woman. I was just curious. That was my whole thing. I got what, 3 sisters, and they're older than me, and I sometimes ask them what they think about some of the stories that they be hearing and some of the stuff that they see on television. And they say, 2 of my sisters say, hey, I think some of these people on TV are goddamn fools. And my sister's there in the 50s and 60s. So, but hey, I'm going to play the video.
Michelangelo.
Okay, nice to meet you.
How are you? I've been out with black women or approached black women, and before they even knew me, they said, how many kids you got? How many baby mamas you got? Dating outside my race, I haven't had no issues like that at all.
Okay, and you are?
I'm Coro.
See, the first guy, he cares about what people think about him. See, I don't care about what people think about me. He lets other people's opinions of him validate who and how he feels about himself. I don't care, because at the end of the day, you have to live for yourself. And he's looking for validation, which you should never seek validation from anybody else.
I've been practicing abstinence for 3 years. 3 years with no sex. I'm looking for someone that can respect my views on this, someone that can love me for me.
And you are?
Bo.
And the second guy, he's a religious guy, celibate, looking for a woman to join him in his celibacy in a church. Now, first of all, the church is one of the worst places to meet women, because in the church you have a bunch of broken women, for the most part, nothing against the religious people, but you have a bunch of broken women in the church that are seeking forgiveness because they done so much wild and outlandish crazy shit. So when you go to the church, you got to figure out who this person really is, because most of them are putting on a facade. So he's targeting the wrong women in the wrong environment. So I don't think the church is the best place for him to seek women. I think he should go elsewhere. You don't have to go. The church is not the only place to go to find religious women. I think he should go somewhere else, like meetup groups or conferences or something like that. But there's a lot of women out here, a lot of religious women out here that would probably be down to be with a religious guy. I know a couple of women that's looking for a woman, looking for a man, a religious man. However, you have to keep in mind that you have to give women a reason to submit to you and respect you as a man. They're not just going to submit to you just because. This is a very important concept for a lot of guys to understand. A lot of guys think just because they walk through the door and they dress well, smell well, and they're a man, that somehow women are supposed to automatically submit to them. It doesn't work that way. A lot of women think this way too. A lot of women think just because she's dressed nice, look nice, smell good, look good, hair done, nails done, that a man is supposed to put her on a pedestal. It doesn't work like that. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Just pretty don't work. That's what somebody told me a long time ago. Pretty don't work. You have to do more than just look nice for someone to submit to you and ultimately respect you as a person, or a man or a woman. So I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah, I don't date black women now because of past experiences. They like to place that strong personality on you, and sometimes you just kind of, stand a woman's place.
So do you have any...
So this guy, the third guy, he lacks confidence because in his mind, he's putting a woman in a box. He thinks every woman is supposed to act a certain type of way, right? And that's another mistake, because every woman is not going to be the way you would like. You know, they might have some of the characteristics in common, maybe have similar interests, but if you try to put a woman in a box and label her like she's property, that's probably not going to work. And you have to have confidence. Confidence is key. So I'm gonna keep it moving.
idea why you're here?
We share some of the same
Opinions.
About?
Why are black women so angry?
Was your mother angry?
To a certain degree, yes.
Now, he has issues with his mother, and that's very important. That's why I paused it, because if your mother is the first relationship you have with a woman growing up as a kid, so if he don't take care of his issues with his mother, it's going to be very difficult for him to have a relationship with another woman. So I'm going to keep it moving.
She had that anger inside of her, but she made sure that she didn't pass it on to me. I see how she handles that, and she gives off that vibe that I get from women here. But when it came to me and how she approached me and taught me about women, she said, don't deal with this.
That's interesting, because as a black mother,
Yeah.
my work was to help my son understand it so that he would know how to stand in it with a black woman. Why are you here?
My situation is a little bit different because I traveled a lot when I was a kid, very talented, very gifted musically. So because of that, when I came back to my neighborhood, when I was dealing with certain black women, you're different. You talk funny, you dress funny, the music you listen to is funny. I don't like being because I had flip-flops on or I had a turtleneck, I'm gay. The problem I'm having is just because you're my culture and you're black, you don't get a pass. All the women in my family, I got a side of cousins that made me feel weird about that.
How can anybody make you feel anything? You get to choose how you feel.
You know,
See, he's seeking validation from other people. See, I don't give a fuck about what people think about me. I never cared. I mean, as a kid, my parents used to tell me, look, son, some people gonna like you, some people not. Some people gonna agree with some of the stuff you say and do, some won't. Some will, some won't. That's it. And but the most important thing you must do is be comfortable within your own skin. You have to be so confident within yourself, so comfortable being you, that is silly. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like, this is me, I'm happy being me. When I look in that mirror, I like what I see. You have to, there's something in you that you have to find that just make you so stupid, silly, and comfortable with yourself that no one can shake you, no one can break you of that. So I'm gonna keep it moving.
you know that when you're kids, it's a psychological imprint.
What does that have to do with today?
Now, with a black woman, I have this in my mind before I even talk to you, she's gonna think I'm weird. And that bothered me a lot.
When I went to junior high school, I got bussed from Ocean Hill, Brownsville to Flatbush, and they spit on me and called me a nigger. They spit on me. And I was 13. And these were adults, not the children. So my point is this, that don't have nothing to do with who I am today. What?
Yeah, see, that's a good point she made. Just your experiences doesn't dictate your future. Just because you had a bad go-round or bad experience or bad childhood, you can still change. You can still get past the hurdles. You can still make it. You can still overcome. You can still move forward. And regardless of what happens, you got to keep moving forward. That's the point she was trying to make. I don't know if they got it or not. So I'm gonna keep it moving.
What is your experience?
A lot of black women, they don't want to talk to me. Some of them don't want to talk to me. Some of them want to talk to me because, number one, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't believe, like right now, I'm practicing abstinence. I'm not having any sex whatsoever.
Why you ain't in the church?
I am in the church. I'm going to tell you about the church women. If you don't have a collar, they don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna be straight up.
But does
if you don't have a collar, they
do
don't
you
want
know
to
what
talk to
the
you.
collar represents, though?
I guess it's purity or, leadership or, I don't know, a divine.
How about power?
Yeah.
How about power?
That's very important because the church is filled with women. And let's just be honest. Women love authority, love guys of authority. They love power. And that's a very important point that she made up. That's why most women are there. Because there's an authority figure in there, which is the pastor or the deacon or whoever's doing the speaking and the preaching. So, if you're a guy that's in there, you're going to have to demonstrate that you're a guy of authority and intelligence, and you have to have a little bit of status as well, because in that church environment, that's why a lot of women are there. So if you come across as weak, a woman is not going to really give you a time of the day in church. She's not going to take you serious. So I don't really know how this guy is. He doesn't come across to me as a guy that's really comfortable in his own skin, because, again, he's seeking validation. He's actually, if you listen to what he says, he said, hey, when he tell a woman that he's practicing celibacy, or that, he's not of higher status because he don't have the collar, they don't really give him a time of the day or whatever. Hey, look, I don't care. I don't care, because at the end of the day, as far as women, either they coming or they staying. So I don't really, that stuff doesn't really cross my mind today. It didn't cross my mind 20 years ago. Now, as a teenager, yes, those stuff did cross my mind, because I didn't know, because I was just learning. But you cannot be out here in this society and seek validation from people. You have to be so damn confident in yourself until it's like stupid silly. So I'm going to keep it moving.
Oh, that's what it represents.
Okay.
But let me tell you why I've called you here today. I've invited you here because my intention is to dismantle the myth of the angry black woman. I believe it's a myth.
Huh.
As a black woman, I believe it's a myth. I invited you here for a mixer tonight, just to be with some women. All kinds of women, all ages of women. We all have a story, we all have an experience, and we all get to choose. Tonight you get to choose how you're gonna experience these women. But I do also wanna thank you for being here. Thank you for being a demonstration, because I know there are hundreds of thousands of black men, all ages, who've had these experiences, and I believe, and it's my intention, for us to heal. Hello, my beloved.
Well, that's pretty much the end of the video. What you have to understand is you, when it comes to women, you have to put yourself in the environment with the quality of women that you want. You have to position yourself as that guy, you that dude, right? And you can't seek validation. And you just have to be the best guy that you can be. You have to always keep learning, because either you're learning or you're dying. That's just it. And at the end of the day, women do the choosing. I'm going to say that again. At the end of the day, women do the choosing. Now, you might be asking, well, why is that? Because most guys, unless you're a guy of high status, or maybe you're an entertainer or athlete or something like that, or a celebrity, then you might have a little leverage. Maybe you have more leverage of choosing the women you want, because the guys of high status usually have a flock of women around them, right? But the rest of us guys, women do the choosing. All we can do is become the best guy that we can, and position ourselves in the right environment, and meet and filter out women, and pick the best one that we run into and date. That's the best we can do. But you're not gonna do that if you're not confident within yourself, if you don't know who you are, and if you don't take care of the issues you have with your parents, or within yourself. And that's really what it boils down to. Because you have to understand, just because you date out to another culture or another race of people, that doesn't mean that it's all good. You're still going to have a new set of problems on the other side. And the grass is never greener on the other side. And these guys were saying that when they date other types of women, that they don't know, those types of women don't talk about them in a negative light like black women. And the reason why that is because those other groups of women don't think like black women. So, and those things that's important to black women aren't necessarily important to white women or other groups of women. So that's why that's what that's all about. And one thing I've learned based on my experience, whenever you date another group of women from another culture or another race or nationality, sometimes as a man you're at a disadvantage, especially if you're a black man, because if you don't know the culture, don't understand the culture, or don't know their code of conduct, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, and you might get taken advantage of. Because the thing that a lot of black people don't understand is we think that everyone has good morals. We think that everyone is going to be like us, that everyone should do the right thing when nobody's watching them, right? But other people, other groups of people don't think like this. Other groups of people do things because, in most cases, because they're forced to do it, not because they necessarily want to do it. And I'm going to say that again. Other groups of people, including women, do things because they're forced to do it, not because they want to do it. And this is what, it took me a long time to understand this, because I was under the assumption that if women like me, they would automatically do the right thing. I used to assume that, but that's not necessarily true, because women, at the end of the day, women are looking out for themselves. And they're trying to please their family, their friends, and all of the above, right? So, which doesn't work, by the way. That doesn't work. That philosophy doesn't work. But they do things because they have to in most cases. This is why living in the United States of America, I always say, as black males, we're on our own out here. And people aren't going to leave us alone until we give them a reason to. We have to force them to leave us alone. We have to push them to leave us alone. And it's the same dynamic with women. Women do what they have to do, not what they want to do most of the time. And it's kind of the same dynamic between male and female relationship. That's why I always say, most of the time, women like what's behind the guy, not necessarily what's in front of the guy. So in other words, most women, they're not necessarily into the guy himself. They like what's behind the guy. And what's behind the guy is either money or power or sometimes both. And that's something that I didn't understand that 20 years ago. That's why I'm doing this video, to give you the game. Most women aren't necessarily into the guy himself. What they like is behind the guy. Money, power, and sometimes both. So if you keep that in mind, you always stay on track. You always understand why women and some people just in general do what they do out in society. So whenever you feel like you aren't getting the respect you would like or getting the treatment you would like, you know that you haven't given the woman a reason to. And some of it is out of your hand because you're only one person. But at the same time, you can create an environment, because you're only as strong as the people that you have around you. And there's strength in numbers. So if you keep that in mind, you'll be better off in the future. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Till next time, Trump Game is out. Peace.